Hey guys, good morning, and I hope you guys are doing great today. And so, what I want to do is walk you through something that I do every day. I started doing this every day, and you'll see on my Living Strong community that I do now what I call gains. And I'll say that, okay, yesterday's gains. So, today is July 3rd, and yesterday's gains I put up about an hour ago on my Living Strong community. And it's my way of holding myself accountable and recognizing the gains. And I want to talk about the gains as opposed to the gap. So I want to talk about this. And I put together uh, uh, all these notes here for myself, but I put it up on a Google document. I'll create a PDF out of this and make it available for you guys. If you want to, just let me know in the comments below. But so part of my Living Strong method, so there's this idea of living strong, and there's a methodology behind it. And this is what I want to look at and how I live my life. And one of the things that I've learned is that I have the tendency to have really, really highs where I get excited, then I get really, really lows where I have the tendency maybe to fall into a darkness and a depression. And so I've been working on this for decades. I'm 65 years old, and so I've come a long way with that. And so it's what I call living strong, and there's a method to it, and it doesn't happen by accident. So anyway, one of the things I want to share with you today is about the gap and the gain, and the gains, mostly really focusing on the gains. I want to run through this again. If you want this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make this available for everyone, a PDF if you're interested in that. So yesterday's gains become today's foundation. And what I know for me is that when I get up in the morning, or when at the end of the day, when I'm exhausted, my emotional regulation, and I'm just so easy and quick to be angry, to be grumpy, and I do the best that I can to isolate myself and go to sleep. That's a good thing that happened, was the monster comes out, and my family will attest to that. However, one of the things I found that helps out is really reflecting on what I gained that day, what I'm grateful for that day. And when I go to sleep, I really think about that. And then when I get up every morning, I start my day with that. And so this is a practice that I created. Every morning I begin my day by taking moments, and this is what I did this morning. And I take moments and say, okay, what are my gains for the day? I begin with the gratitude. I begin with all this mindset where I just want to set myself up to be successful, be positive, be confident, flex this muscle of the possibilities that I will accomplish a lot, so much today, the gains. And this helps me build confidence and helps me to really stay on top. And I get this from this idea from the book called The Gap and the Gain from Dan Sullivan, and it was written by Benjamin Hardy, who is organizational psychologist, and he has 7 books, and I've read most of them, and I really have dug deep in the work that he's done. So this is a great book and really helped me understand the gap, and more importantly, the gain. And it is based on that because I want to create momentum in the course of my day, starting in the early morning, and go through, started off with knowing that there are gains that I accomplished yesterday, and I really set today up to be more empowering and to set myself up to be successful. But remembering, gosh, this is what I accomplished yesterday. Those are the gains from yesterday. Now, I may not have gotten the results that I wanted. However, I got the lesson that I needed, and that's a gain. So today, so when you go back to my Living Strong page here, you'll see yesterday's gains, and I'll come through here and I'll go through what those gains were. Okay, and this is something that I'm going to do every single day. And first of all, let's talk about the gap. When we talk about the gap, of course, I highly recommend you get the book. But the idea is this: the gap is where you see what your ideal outcome is and where you are right now. So you see where you are and your ideal outcome. This is my goal, my ideal outcome. And then you see the gap from where you are to where the ideal is. And we all, more often than not, I know I do, I focus on that. I focus on what my ideal is and where I am right now. And it's, so much work to do. I got to get to this ideal. So I'm always striving for this ideal. And that's the gap. And I find when I live there, I'm always feeling like I'm in need and I'm hungry and I'm always falling short because I haven't reached that ideal, the gap. And I find that for me, I easily get depressed. I easily get frustrated. And I take that on the people that I love and people, especially when I'm tired, especially when I've gone through my whole day. I've worked hard. I'm chasing after the ideal, living in the gap. And I find that it's just really a hard place to be. And so the book brings out this idea of focusing on the gain. So I'm where I am, yes, there's this ideal, but I'm focusing on this gain from where I was to where I'm getting to. So the gap really talks about what's missing and what you need to do. The gain looks at what you've accomplished. And by looking at what you've accomplished, what you've learned, what you've done, that maybe people you've spoken to, that you encouraged, that you inspired, that you were in moments with them and you sat with them, you encouraged them, you inspired. These are all gains. And when you look at that, you empower yourself and you keep moving forward, progressing, chasing after the gains. Who can I talk to today? Who can I serve today? What step can I move forward on, and what can I accomplish today? Oh, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, I spoke to that person, I met that person. So you look at all this, and so you create this filter, this framework of what you're looking for in the course of your day, and you're chasing after the gains. And for me, that was such a paradigm shift, and it really empowers me in the course of my day. So I start today, like right now, this video right now is a gain. I woke up this morning, I shared my post, looked at the gains, then I asked myself, okay, what can I do to share with my community about this? And I said, well, let me do this, the video. So this is a gain for me. And you watching it, that's a gain. You've gotten something from this chat. Maybe one thing I said, and you say, oh my gosh, that's it. And that's what you could do. I had a conversation with my wife yesterday. We were talking about, let's look for and expect to find gains and not look for what's missing and what's lacking and based on what our ideal outcome is and where we are. No, we look at where we came from and where we are and what were the gains. So it's so important, and it doesn't have to be big. It be small little things. Getting up. I got up. Okay, whether you got up at the time you intended to or not, you got up. You brushed your teeth. Okay, as opposed to not brushing your teeth. You combed your hair as opposed to not to. You get the idea? You spoke to someone, or especially if it was a hard conversation. You created a moment where you had a hard conversation. I had a conversation with a parent yesterday, one of our students at the karate school, and a parent came up to me, a dad came up to me, and I could see he was very uncomfortable, and he says, Master Lishiaga, can I have a chat with you? I said, of course. And he says, can we do it here? And I could see that it was a struggle, it was a hard conversation for him, so I said, absolutely. And so I said, let's sit down, got comfortable, and then he proceeded to share what was on his heart. And afterwards, he was empowered. I could tell by his demeanor, and I could see that he had like this, after sharing with me, it was like this burden that was lifted off of him, and I could see him leaving there. He was inspired, encouraged, and he's so that was a gain. And for me, that was a gain, a moment. And so we're going to look for those. It could be little, big, it doesn't matter. They're all gains. Everything moves you forward. And that's the key. So it doesn't matter what it is. Everything counts as a gain because it depends on your framing of it and how you see it. And this is what I found that's made the biggest difference for me. Okay, and so it doesn't matter. And here, a gain isn't measured by how big it is. A gain is measured by whether it moved you forward. a gain will always move you forward. Okay, and so live in the gain, guys. And so I want to encourage you to create a daily practice. Every morning you wake up and you ask yourself, okay, what did I learn from yesterday? Who did I help, or who helped me? What was the gain? How did I move forward? What did I learn? What did I accomplish? What am I grateful for? All these things. Start your mornings off with that, okay? And you'll see how this will change your mindset when you do it for 30 days. I want to encourage you to do it for 30 days because it will change the way you think. It'll build your confidence. It'll create a momentum that helps you develop this gratitude that you're always grateful for the moment, grateful for the hour, for the day, for your life. That for me is living strong, and this is something that helps me, and it helps me to to reduce my discouragement, because I get discouraged. We all do. However, I don't live there very long because I've now created this methodology where I'm looking for the gains. I'll get discouraged and I'll have moments, oh God, that didn't happen, or that didn't go well, but I'm glad I did it. And then I start looking for the gains. So now, we have the science of what I call RAS. So, watch your RAS. I say a lot of times jokingly. Now, RAS is RAS, and in psychology, I've learned this in positive psychology, that what you focus on, that's what you'll see, right? And your mind, it's what they call the reticular activating system. And when you say, okay, I'm going to focus on this, and you program yourself to, that's all you see. So when you say, I'm going to focus on my gains, what I learned, what's going to empower me, and then all of a sudden now you empowered yourself, and you have set up your ass to be successful and to see the gains. And so anyway, start focusing on that. Focus on your progress. Focus on the gains. And so I want to share this with you guys because it's important for the families, for my students, all of you guys, because it's important for us. I think all of us, if we start looking at our gains, we'll have more moments of joy and happiness than not. And it's for everyone. And this is what I encourage everyone to do. And Living Strong is about that. And so have that as your 30 days. That's what I got for you. And it works. Okay. It's working for me. I would love to see if it works for you. Do it for 30 days. Every day waking up. What have you got to lose? Right? What have you got? At worst, you'll be positive all the time. You'll have joy because you're just looking for the gains. And you're going to be surprised in how many gains are out there because you have checked and you are looking at your ass and you're checking your ass to make sure your ass is looking for the gains. Remember, your ass is this reticular activating system. I just threw that in there. Okay, guys. So anyway, that's what I got for you today, and that's it. On the bottom of this, just a quick question for you guys. What are your 3 biggest gains from yesterday? The 3 biggest gains. And then what is one lesson that you will carry into today? All right. So that's what I got for you. All right. So anyway, have an amazing day. And I'll put it here. Yesterday's gains becomes today's foundation, and build on top of that. All right, guys. Talk to you next time. Hey, if you want this PDF, let me know in the comments below and I'll give it to you. Talk to you next time. Bye.